recent months, we've seen school children all over the world, multiple countries, striking from their lessons, going onto the streets and essentially pleading for a viable future in the face of the climate change threat. Now, on current course, how far are the oil companies away from being able to deliver for these school children? The most recent demonstrations were in the UK last week, and you see many of the youngsters carrying placards talking about system change. They're clearly hearing about this in science lessons. What does system change in the context of climate change mean? And we've got a very clear picture of this from the world's climate scientists in October 2018, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change telling governments what they would have to do if they want to be sure of hitting this target, 1.5-degree target that they set themselves in December 18 in the Paris Agreement. And it's daunting but doable. It's a complete decarbonisation of the energy system and much else by 2050, and that only gives them a 50% chance. So really they have to do it quite a bit before then, all of which many of us in the renewables industries and the transition industries think can be done, but it is a zero net carbon world, a totally decarbonized world within a few decades. And what's the best we can expect by 2040 according to BP? They produced their energy outlook actually on the same day as the British students were protesting, coincidentally. And it's similar to Shell's and ExxonMobil's. All these guys have similar views of the future. And here you see the current energy mix dominated by oil and gas. In 2017, this is their favored scenario of the four they talk about. They call it rapid transition. I don't think many of us in the renewables industries would do. But look at what they give the world in 2040. More oil and gas burning, quite a bit more gas and only a little less oil. What a gap with the expectations of people who worry about climate change. So I asked Twitter users for the most appropriate word to describe this gap, and I got some pretty big words back. Looking at these, you might think, ooh, this is just, your echo chamber on Twitter, Jeremy. It's people who think like you do, but I don't think so. We're living in a time of consequences, and the UN's boss said to governments in December 2018 at the climate summit, if you don't shoot for this sub 1.5-degree target, it would not only be immoral, his words, not mine, it would be suicidal. So I think we can draw three conclusions. The children, the UN, and many others are right about the threat that the world faces from climate change. The big oil companies are wrong. We need to stop big oil, and we need to start doing that yesterday. Much more on my website. Thank you very much for your attention.